Good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. Welcome to Unity in the Seven Hills. Thank you for joining us. Join us in singing, "This Door is Open to You." No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent, come let's share a hug, come let's pray together, come love and be loved. From the bliss down to the turn down, the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in, come on in, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you. Play that bass. If there's some kind of trouble or pain you're going through, know that you are not alone and someone cares for you. As an individualization and the divine point of view, this door is open to you. Come on in, come on in, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good morning, everyone. If you will, join me in a prayer. Close your eyes, if you will. Let's start by taking some deep breaths. As you breathe, feel your light inside expand. We come together today. That's the end of the sentence. We come together today, remembering that it is said, where two or more gather, there I am. And so we come together today. Each one of us bringing our individual, specifically significant light, gathering into the greater whole, building upon one another, seeking to build a world at peace, at harmony, remembering that what harmony is not a single voice, but voices joined together, notes that complement one another. Remembering that sometimes there are voices that are dissonant, but all you have to do is change the note you are on to find a new harmony. So we come together today to build a harmony, to learn to move, to make new harmonies, to progress together, to build together, to be one made of many. We come together today. Amen.
Let us affirm our mission statement together. Unity in the Seven Hills is a vibrant, inclusive community that inspires individual spiritual growth through education, prayer, heart connection, and sacred service. And our mission statement, centered in spirit, we see a world transformed by divine love, where innovative solutions are celebrated and all needs are met.
Join us in singing Holy Ground. Look down and see what was given to you and me. Right here we know the power that we hold to kindle the spark so we can light up the dark, show others the way, let them see a brand new day. We're standing on holy. We're standing on holy. We're standing on holy ground. Oh, yeah, now we're standing on holy. We're standing on holy. We're standing on holy ground. Oh, oh, yeah. And right where we are, we've traveled so far, and inside we know we've got further to go. Throw the past in the fire so that we can go higher. Look down and see we are all that we need to be. That's where we're standing on holy, yeah. We're standing on holy. We're standing on holy ground. Oh, yeah, now we're standing on holy. We're standing on holy. We're standing on holy ground. Oh, oh, oh. Inside, outside, we can really bring the fire with our perfect appointment. We can raise vibration high, living into integrity. We can help the world to see, being all that we can be. We can lead humanity. Inside, outside, we can really bring the fire with our perfect appointment. We can raise vibration high, living into integrity. We can help the world to see, being all that we can be. We can lead humanity. We're standing on holy. Yes, we are. We're standing on holy. We're standing on holy ground. Oh, 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 now, yeah. We're standing on holy. We're standing on holy. Yeah. We're standing on holy ground. Oh, 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 now, yeah. We're standing on holy. We're standing on holy, yeah. We're standing on holy ground. Oh, oh, yeah, now. We're standing on holy. We're standing on holy, yeah. We're standing on holy ground. We're standing on holy ground. Woo! Thank you for singing with us. Our unity principle of the week is human beings are divine at their core and therefore inherently good. So let's read that together. Human beings are divine at their core and therefore inherently good. Let's do our announcements. The prayer chaplains are looking for someone who hears the call to the High Watch. We will be starting a training class very soon, so if you are feeling led to serve, this would be an excellent opportunity. Call the office to voice your interest. Our spiritual community needs a strong heart to pump the ambition and spirit of our tomorrow. Is that you? Are you a chaplain? Flower Power is powered up again with bulbs ready to bless your spring garden. Come down for coffee afterwards and check our bulletin board for a list of available bulbs. For those of you at home and you can't visit U78, that's everybody this week. That's U78fpfundraising.com. So U78.fp, which is for Flower Power, fundraising.com. This week has a few monthly events happening. First, the Wise Women will be meeting Tuesday at 6:30 here and on Zoom as the hybrid group. Then on Thursday, we will have our 12 Powers Outlet group at 7 p.m. on Zoom. Our annual meeting is going to be postponed until the 6th of February, and it will be directly after the service, and this will be a hybrid event. So any members not able to join in person can still watch and vote virtually on Zoom. We'll be voting in some new board members and changing up some bylaws. Make sure your vote is here to be counted.
And since it's being postponed, that's normally our potluck Sunday, so we're inviting you to bring some sandwiches to share so that we got some easy finger food for the annual meeting to not distract us too much.
It's going to be a yummy annual meeting. All right. So let's bless our youth together. You are a perfect child of God, and God and I love you just the way you are, and wherever you are. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine all the time this week. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Season for Peace reading. In honor of the great teacher Thich Nhat Hanh, who passed away this week after 95 years of inspirational life, we gladly read his magnificent words for today, the first day of the season of peace. All phenomena are interdependent. When we think of a speck of dust, a flower, or a human being, our thinking cannot break loose from the idea of unity, of one, of calculation. We see a line drawn between one and many, one and not one. But if we truly realize the interdependent nature of the dust, the flower, and the human being, we see that unity cannot exist without diversity. Unity and diversity interpenetrate each other freely. Unity is diversity, and diversity is unity. This is the principle of interbeing. Thich Nhat Hanh.
And now for our special reading. We're going to do a special reading of the Resolution on Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion from Unity Worldwide Ministries. It is almost 2 pages, but don't worry, we're not reading the whole thing. An official statement from Unity Worldwide Ministries. Unity Worldwide Ministries stands for anti-racism, i.e., we are opposed to racial hatred, racial violence, bias, systemic racism, and the oppression of people of color. We stand for diversity, equity, and inclusion for people who are marginalized because of color. No individual or group should be made to live in fear or excluded from society. Recent events in the United States and the world remind us that violent repression, prejudices, injustices, and inequalities towards people of color are embedded in societies, from social structures to institutions to cultures. Unity chooses to be more aware and take positive action in dismantling systemic racism and the social structures that support injustice and prejudice. And we raise awareness throughout our membership, churches, and centers. Whereas Unity stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion for people of color, our second principle states, human beings have a spark of divinity within them, the Christ Spirit within. Their very essence is of God, and therefore they are also inherently good. This principle applies to all people, regardless of color. And whereas we are fully committed to Unity Worldwide Ministries being an ambassador for diversity, equity, and inclusion in our world, and an example through our actions in the Unity movement, and whereas Unity Worldwide Ministries Board of Trustees acknowledges that there has been and is systemic racism in Unity, we acknowledge and accept responsibility for the impact that our history with racism has made upon our Black and brown friends, colleagues, congregants, students, employees, and patrons, both past and present. We commit to eradicating any and all systems, policies, and practices that would in any way replicate our past mistakes or reproduce an environment that discriminates against or is inhospitable towards people on the basis of race, color, or ethnicity. The song has some special lyrics. I want you all to listen up. I will tend my anger. I will tend my grief. I will achieve safety. And I will find relief. I'll show myself mercy. I'll show myself respect. And I'll decide when I'm ready to forgive but not forget. And I will ask you questions, and I will try to understand. And if you give me your story, I will hold it in my hand, and I will bring the love, the revolutionary love. I will bring the love, the revolutionary love. I will bring the love, the revolutionary love, revolutionary love.
If you hurt me, I will not shut down. No, you can't make me hate you and carry that hate around. I will see no stranger, only parts of myself, don't you know? And I'll see right through evil, to a wound too scared to show. I have the power to stay open. I have the power to be the one that I've been waiting for, the one who sets me free. And I can bring the love, the revolutionary love. I can bring the love, the revolutionary love. I can bring the what? The revolutionary love, revolutionary love. I will tend my anger, oh, and I will tend my grief, and I will achieve safety, and I will find relief. I'll show myself mercy, I'll show myself respect, and I'll decide when I'm ready to forgive but not forget. And I will ask you questions, and I will try to understand. And if you give me your story, I will hold it in my hands, and I will bring the love, the revolutionary love, and I will bring the love, the revolutionary love. I will bring the love, the revolutionary love, revolutionary love.
Ari is a poet above all things, best known for their poems published on scraps of paper that have been affixed to park benches. They come from many physical locations, but only found home in the middle of a pine forest. From the age of 5, after watching the Disney cartoon Mickey Through the Looking Glass and being inspired to ask their father, "What if we return after we die?" They have been studying religion and spirituality. And since that moment, not only have religious texts been the place of epiphany, but also pop culture. As well, Ari is an activist reborn. Having spent many years on a picket line, they decided that there was too little progressive action and now build on a collectivist ideology as a way to encourage compassion and camaraderie amongst all peoples by looking for real-world initiatives and less dependence on leaders and theories. They work here at Unity in the Seven Hills as office administrator, janitor, librarian, bookstore manager, and prayer chaplain. Often they are heard referencing themselves as the only Unity monk so far.
Good morning, everyone. I want to start with kind of a strange question. Now, I was going to, while we are live, have a raise of hands on this question. So instead, since we're not live, maybe just put in the chat below your answer. But I'm curious how many of you enjoy the taste of banana-flavored candy? I'll give you a moment to put it in. I know there's quite a few people out there that don't like the taste of banana-flavored candy, and when I've had conversations about, not that I've had a lot, I don't go around talking to people about banana-flavored candy, but the usual response is that it doesn't taste like actual bananas. And there's a reason for that. Up until recently, there was a different kind of banana that we ate called the Gros Michel. So that candy, that banana flavor that so many people, and probably so many of you don't like, is based off that Gros Michel. So it is actually not candy flavored. I guess it is. It's candy. But it is actually banana flavored. It's just not a banana that we have been accustomed to anymore. And it was a lot sweeter and fatter than the bananas that we eat nowadays. But sometime, I want to say in the 1970s, the Gros Michel was met with a virus that nearly wiped out the entire species of banana. And the reason it did so is that these bananas, because they were the kinds that everyone liked, they weren't very genetically diverse. They kept them pretty similar, so they all had that same flavor. Because they weren't diverse, their immune response was all the same. And so when this virus hit, it hit hard and, as I said, nearly wiped out the entire species. Unfortunately, we haven't really learned from our past, and the modern banana that we eat is also not very diverse. But it teaches us one thing scientifically that's really important, which is that diversity secures the future of a species. Diversity is super important to longevity. And this is a scientific principle that I think is really important for us to learn, that our differences, they're more than just differences. They add something. They make us better. And I want us to think real closely about the name of our organization, of our entity, of our spiritual group, Unity. What does the word unity mean? And I don't mean what our beliefs are or what we stand for, our 5 principles, any of that, but the actual word unity. What does that represent? Because I hear a lot in spiritual groups, specifically in Unity, talking about the self. And I think it's super important that we talk about how we relate to ourselves, loving ourselves, accepting ourselves, building our spiritual principle and our integrity, working on our mental health state. You know, the Course in Miracles talking about fear versus love, the power of prayer, all that stuff, and how it relates to us, manifestation of what we want in life, all those things. They're fantastic. They're great. And I'm not saying don't do those things and we shouldn't work on ourselves. We definitely should. It's very important. In fact, not only will I say that it's important to work on yourself, but I'll remind you that the word unity starts with you. Yeah, it's a bit of wordplay and a pun, but you all know me. I love that stuff. What is unity? Unity is a tying together of different things, a coming together. That's what unity means. And so it becomes super important, especially with that being our name, that we discuss our relationships to other people. And I think that it's fantastic happenstance synchronicity that our unity principle today just so happens to be that all human beings are divine and therefore inherently good. And I think we need to remember that. Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. Helen Keller. Because it's all great and good when we meet someone who's different than us, but in a complementary way. But sometimes we meet someone who offends us or makes us question our viewpoints or is part of a group that we don't understand. I have been around someone whose child, they saw their child, who is male, kissing another male. And they turned to me and they said, I don't know how to handle this. What do I do about this? They were kissing them like a man kisses their wife, and I don't understand. And it dawned on me that understanding is not important. Not as much as acceptance. And you don't need to understand to accept. Individually, we are a drop, but together we are an ocean. Ryunosuke Satoru, oh, I butchered that name. If it is not harming you directly, if it doesn't change anything in your personal life, why can't we just love and accept? And that's one of the principles that I adhere to greatly, especially as it was said in my bio, I am a believer in collectivist ideologies and in people working together instead of competition. I believe in cooperation. And one of the first things that you need to do is learn acceptance. That people are going to be different, greatly different, in ways that maybe will upend your thinking. And my thinking has been upended quite a few times. Even so far as race. We oftentimes don't like to talk about how we might be wrong. It's a thing called fragility. It hurts to be told we're wrong, but it's important. See, in my life, I've learned two very important things. One is that you should care about being right. But I don't mean that in the way that we sometimes say, oh, they just want to be right all the time. Because that comes with a certain amount of delusion when people are like that. But if you actually care about being right, you will come to the other part, which is be ready to be wrong. Be willing to be wrong. Because finding out that you are wrong is the very first step in becoming right. Admitting you are wrong and learning from that. Changing your mindset. It brings me to a story of the Dalai Lama, who was talking about how Tibetan monks were so isolated before they were kicked out of Tibet. And as they moved across the world and started calling each other from different countries, different continents, there came a time when a monk, still on the other side of the world, called another monk in America. And the monk that was here in the U.S. said, it's really late at night. Could you call in the morning? And the monk who was overseas looked out his window, and the sun was shining, and was completely confused. And the reason he was confused is that part of the isolation that they had been through was that they still believed the world was flat. And suddenly, that got brought into distinct contrast. And so what this monk did was changed what he thought about the world. As easy as that. Just obviously this is not true, so we'll get rid of that. It doesn't work. It doesn't help me to believe things that are false. So learn to accept without understanding. Learn to be wrong. Want to be right so that you will learn to be wrong. Those are very important things. And I really do believe that unity, the Word, and us, is the only way to peace. When we look at modern man, we have to face the fact that modern man suffers from a kind of poverty of the spirit, which stands in glaring contrast with a scientific and technological abundance. We've learned to fly the air as birds, we've learned to swim the seas as fish, but we haven't learned to walk the earth as brothers and sisters. Martin Luther King Jr. I think that becoming safe in our differences with one another is the only way to peace. One of the ideologies that I am a big fan of and really adhere to is restorative justice. Restorative justice is a way of looking at our judicial system, or a judicial system that we would really like. So restorative justice looks at where crime comes from, deals with those things. For instance, we know that in areas of poverty, there's more crime. Deal with the poverty. Crime will start to go away. Where there is inequity, there is more crime. Deal with the inequity. Where there are family dynamic issues, there's more crime. Deal with the family dynamic issues. Where mental health is not treated, there's more crime. Deal with the mental health issues. But when crime happens, it also says those two people, let's say it's a violent crime, the attacker and the victim are human beings, both of them. And they need to be treated. And that's something that our justice system today doesn't really do. You don't hear about what the court sets up for the victim. Their counseling. As well as the criminal. They get punished, sent to jail, whatever. But we have a lot of those criminals when they get out going right back in. So obviously, nothing has been changed. Nothing has been learned. It wasn't really in effect. So we treat with compassion and find out why they did this. And it's important because we can stop them from doing it again, but also we can learn why they did this so that maybe we can prevent it in the future. And in countries where this happens, we see a great change. So here in the U.S., there's a great number of the criminals who ends up committing crimes again, going back into the system, obviously costing tax money, so on and so forth, and it keeps continuing. But in these other countries, the amount of people who are repeat offenders is only 3%. 3%. And those people generally have some sort of really intense mental health issue, and they need hospitalization. They need treatment, sometimes medication, constant watch. And so we see that compassion, even to the most severe of situations, changes things, makes a better world. When spiders unite, they can tie down a lion. Ethiopian proverb. In all cases, even when we are greatly offended by people when they have done things that we just don't find forgivable, we need to find ways to find love. So there's a quote that I really like that says that we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We in unity believe that there is only one power and one presence, and it's God. That means that there is nothing that is not God. That includes this human experience. And while I agree that this world is, in a way, an illusion, that it is a very mere reflection of the intensity of the light of the divine, it is still here. And if it's here, and there is nothing but God, then it must be good. It must have a reason. So yes, it is an illusion. But what can we learn from the illusion? What are we doing in the illusion? Because we are part of it. We are here now. As Ram Dass said, be here now. And part of that illusion is the other people around us. Again, there is only one presence and one power. Human beings are inherently good, are divine at their core. And so every human being that you come in contact with is God. You get to speak to God every time you speak to another human being. What do they have to teach you? Even the ones who do things that you find reprehensible, they too are divine at their core and therefore inherently good. We need to remember this whenever we come face to face with another human being. And it's so easy when they agree with us, when they do positive things. But nothing has changed when they do things that are negative. Nothing has changed when they do things that offend us. They are still divine at their core. They are still inherently good. But it's easy for us to forget that. I know I do. The Buddhists have a practice they call Maitri. It's M-A-I-T-R-I, Maitri. This is a meditative practice that starts with loving the self. Well, a lot of times it starts with loving the self because that's an easy step. Maybe not for all of us. I know I've been in places in my life where loving myself was pretty difficult. But for a lot of us, loving ourselves tends to be a lot easier than loving others, especially those who are offensive to us. So it starts with ourselves. Then it expands out to people that you love. Then it expands out to people that you are just acquaintances with. They're neutral. They don't offend you. They're barely in your life. And then you expand love out even further to enemies, to the people who offend you. And by doing this practice, slowly your heart starts to open. Sometimes not so slowly, let me tell you. Sometimes that meditation wakes you up. And then you start to see that inherent good. It is because of this that I really love how Buddhists tend to finish meditations and prayers and so on. That this act that I do, this prayer that I say, this meditation that I keep before the good of all sentient beings, it is not just a personal quest. And I say that everyone has an inner Buddha, like we say that everyone is divine at their core. Everyone is a Buddha waiting to blossom. But especially in Tibetan Buddhism, they teach that even when you become a Buddha and you find enlightenment, that you will return to earth, because one of the things that you must find is perfect compassion. And if you have perfect compassion, you are sitting there enlightened and in nirvana while someone else is still down here in the muck, in the mire, in the mud that the lotus blossoms from. Then you can't sit still. You can't stay in nirvana. You must come back until all have found their Buddha selves, till all have discovered bodhicitta. And so the Buddha returns. All the Buddhas return to help. In diversity, there is beauty and there is strength. Maya Angelou. So what better way to spend your time than working on that while you're working on your enlightenment? Maybe you won't have to come back so many times. You can stay enlightened. Work together. Build something better together. Find real unity. Disparate entities coming together as one. A one made of many. Something that we maybe call God. May this talk be for the benefit of all sentient life. Thank you. Haven't already, I want you to close your eyes. Take some deep breaths, just like we did in the prayer. Feel the light inside you expand again. Feel your body start to melt into your seat or the floor, whatever surface you may be sitting on or laying down on. With that expanding light comes feelings of absolute happiness. Expanding from your heart space, the light floods through your body, down through your limbs, out your fingers, out your toes, up through and out the top of your head. You overflow with light and joy. The awareness of your spiritual form starts to wake up, much bigger than your mere physical body. And you sense that which is around you, even with your eyes closed. The universe becomes more tangible. with this awareness, feel the other lights radiating out there. 1,000,000 candles coming together. The light gets brighter and brighter the more candles you add. Soon there are billions. And most likely up until now, you've only been thinking about other human beings. See the light now from cats, dogs, frogs, animals on the other side of the world, giraffes, elephants, kangaroos. Then expand even further. The trees start to light up. Each blade of grass a small flickering flame. The glow gets brighter and brighter. Do you notice that light? It glows just the same as your light, like a reflection. And as the light gets brighter, blindingly bright, eventually you stop seeing the separation between those lights. What was billions, if not trillions of candles soon becomes a beam of light. A bright, radiant, beaming light. Together, each individual light making the next stronger. Let's take some more deep breaths, staying in that light. Feel lighter, not just in the way of brightness, but also like you're floating in that light. When you're ready, open your eyes. Not worried about coming back to your senses in this place. We're carrying this light with us. We're carrying the sensation of all those other lights added to us. And whenever we meet another one of those lights, one of those flames, one of those souls, we will recognize the light in them too, and feel how our lights add together. Remember that it didn't say when 2 or more of you come together in a specific circumstance. It just says when 2 or more are gathered. That's it. There I am. So if you were in the room with someone else right now, I hope you feel that strong, lasting light together. I hope you recognize the light in each other. And with a mighty love, we all say, Amen.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. And
let's affirm our abundance together. Unity in the Seven Hills is abundantly blessed. Creative people are drawn to us. Divine ideas flow through us. Financial resources bless us, and we accomplish mighty works together. As you are inspired today, we invite you to share your blessings with us. There are 3 ways to give: PayPal, Zelle, and check. Remember on PayPal to click Sending to a Friend. Now, let's sing something wonderful together with Joy of All Divinity.
Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no, it won't let go. All this love inside, we can let it shine. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no, it won't let go. All this love inside, we can let it shine out. Yes, we can. Something wonderful.
Thank you for joining us today. We're going to give you a quick reminder of coming events. Monday at 6:15 p.m., we have yoga down the Namaste Cafe. Wednesdays at 7 p.m., A Course in Miracles meets on Zoom. Thursdays, the Card Ladies meet at 12:30 p.m. down in our library. The Knitting Group will be meeting Fridays at 10 a.m. Don't forget to join us. Actually, after service on Zoom, we'll have a little bit of fellowship. And then remember that next week we'll be doing the annual meeting. Bring some sandwiches to share. It'll be a good and informative time. And for those of you home, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so that you'll know when we go live. All links in the calendar of events are available at unityinthesevenhills.org. A big thank you to everyone who participated in our community this week. And let's have the blessing of the gifts.
Now please join us in the blessing of the gifts. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. United in mind, body, and spirit, we dedicate these gifts as they multiply to bless our community, our neighborhood, and our world.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Thank you for joining us.